pleased to announce that we have Olga Algayerova, who is the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe's Executive Secretary, and she's going to say a few words to open the event. So hopefully, Olga, you can hear me okay and are not muted, and so it's over to you now.
Thank you, dear Ray. Dear colleagues, dear friends, it's my great pleasure to be here, and I'm very much looking forward to your discussion on how Europe can move forward in the time of COVID-19. This pandemic has devastated economies. The huge rebuilding efforts will be necessary when it's done. The UN Secretary General has identified this is an opportunity to create more sustainable, resilient, and inclusive societies. We don't have to go back to our old habits. The SDGs adopted by UN member states in 2015 are a great achievement with a forward-looking perspective. They offer us direction on how to redress challenges or prevent certain unwelcome developments. Currently, we have the decade of action to accelerate implementation. We can seize this opportunity provided by the recovery from COVID-19 and align rebuilding efforts with the SDGs to build back better. So let us rethink, reconnect, and rebuild together. Helping countries to rebuild after crisis is something which UNEC has experience with. UNEC was founded in the wake of Second World War with a goal to promote economic cooperation and integration among the world economies of the pan-European region. For over 70 years, and even during the height of the Cold War, we have been bringing the East and the West in our region together to collaborate peacefully on technical norms and standards. We work in several fields such as transport, trade facilitation, statistics, environment, housing, etc. This mandate remains as relevant as ever in the face of the current recession and the need for subsequent rebuilding in alignment with the SDGs. Governments are now issuing directives to many different sectors and they reopen for business. I hope they use this opportunity to encourage the discontinuation of old harmful habits and enact stronger policies and incentives. These SDGs provide an excellent foundation. Why? They facilitate connectivity, address transboundary and other risks, support a green and resilient recovery. And I would like to stress here the word resilient. Implementing the SDGs indeed means that we will be better prepared to respond to and recover from future crises. How? Let me give you some examples from the work of UNEC. As one of the 5 regional commissioners of the United Nations, we provide a political platform to develop joint responses in a multilateral context based on broad, multidisciplinary technical expertise. Our work is demand-driven and responsive to emerging trends. Through the collaboration of our 56 member states and often even the larger UN family, it is more far-reaching and impactful than individual action. Moreover, we can offer a number of instruments that are already a meaningful response framework to certain aspects of the COVID recovery. We have a classification system for sustainable resource management called UNFC in short. It applies to oil and gas, renewable energy, nuclear fuels, minerals, and others, and reduces carbon footprint by optimizing their management. It also applies to secondary resources, thus helping the circular economy. UNFC supports several SDGs, such as SDG 7 on clean energy, SDG 10 on infrastructure, SDG 13 on climate action, etc. The EU notably uses UNFC to manage the critical raw material needs for batteries and financially supports our work. But UNFC is also relevant in the COVID context. Hospitals had shortages of critical medications such as anesthesiants, and European manufacturing is hampered by the dependence on imports of active ingredients from China and India. Applying UNFC can secure the supply chains for these raw materials used in the pharmaceutical industries. This is also relevant to mass-scale vaccine development. This is but one example of how harmonized technical norms and standards can help countries implement the SDGs while also recovering from the pandemic. My dear colleague Lorenza Giacchia will provide you with more examples as well. Once again, in concluding, I invite all actors to focus on the SDGs in the context of moving forward after the pandemic. Thank you so much for your attention. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Olga, for that very concise and interesting introduction to our talk today.